April 7, 2003 annual town meeting by reducing funding as specified in Article 11 as printed in the warrant. It's not quite per Hoyle, but I think the intent is clear, Mr. Jervy. But do you wish to offer an amendment? Wish to speak to the motion? Mr. Jervy.
Through you, Mr. Moderator, could we ask Town Council? But my impression is that this motion, as it's written, would transfer the entire $160,000 onto some other source of funds.
Mr. Giorgio, could you address Mr. Jervy's question? Do we need to fix the motion? Mr. Giorgio is Town Council from Copeland and Page.
Mr. Moderator, through you to the previous speaker, the vote that was taken at the annual town meeting was to transfer $210,000, and there was insufficient funds in that account. So this is reducing that appropriation to $160,000 in order to balance the books.
So in your opinion, Mr. Giorgio, the motion is adequately worded and does not need to be fixed?
Yes, that's correct, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you, Mr. Giorgio. Any further discussion? Hearing none, on the motion, I'll read it again. I move that the town vote to amend Article 21 of the April 7, 2003 annual town meeting by reducing funding as specified in Article 11 as printed in the warrant. All those in favor, this requires a simple majority vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Muldoon.
Mr. Moderator, I move that the town vote to appropriate the sum of $600 for the purpose of funding the Efficiency Expert Program for town employees. Said sum to be raised from the tax levy as specified in Article 12 as printed in the warrant.
Mr. Muldoon, does the Finance Committee have a recommendation? Mr. Mastafusa.
Yes, Mr. Moderator, this time the Finance Committee votes to recommend this article.
Does the Board of Selectmen make a recommendation? Ms. Beal?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. The Board of Selectmen votes to recommend this article. This is an incentive program by which town and school employees are encouraged to suggest money-saving ideas for the town. To date, the town has expended $200, and 2 employees, Joe Gigandi, our electrical inspector, and Roland Belanger of our DPW department, have offered money-saving suggestions in excess of $50,000. So this is money well spent. This was an item not funded at April town meeting. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Mr. Pasquale.
It's a terrific idea. But the question I have, is there any money in this fund right now, this expert program?
Mr. Younger.
Yes, I'm special 2 things. One of the reasons it's here in October is I'm so efficient, I'd rather put it in the April town meeting. So that's why it's here in October. It's currently $400 in there, so this would be $600. It would give you $100 a month. And the proposal is to have 1 person per month.
Okay, that's the reason I asked the question. I asked the question is I don't want to have to keep getting up here every 6 months to vote on this. So you only got enough for 10 employees for $1,000. And it's a year, it's $1,200. So why don't you jack this up to $1,200? Maybe, what's another $600? You cover it for a whole year. I mean, you're going to come back to town meeting. You're going to come back to town meeting and say, gee, well, it's 8 months and I got to 800. I got to put this out. We're wasting a lot of time printing this stuff in here in the first place.
Mr. Pasquale, this is an annual appropriation. That's why it's $1,200 a year. And it comes back to the town if they wish to continue the program to vote on it annually. If they don't wish to vote on it annually, then the program ends.
Any further discussion on the main motion? Hearing none. Motion is to appropriate the sum of $600 for the purpose of funding the Efficiency Expert Program for town employees, to be raised from the tax levy and therefore requires a simple majority vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Unanimous. Thank you. Mr. Mulder? Okay, in 5 minutes or so, I will make an announcement as to what the score in the ball game is. So if anybody who wants to leave because they don't want to spoil their fun, I will make that announcement in 5 minutes. Mr. Muldoon, on
Thank you,
we
Mr.
are
Moderator.
Article 15.
I move to appropriate the sum of $48,000 for the purpose of purchasing golf carts for the Hillview Enterprise, and that to meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the Board of Selectmen, is authorized to borrow said sum, and that the debt service thereon shall be paid from the earnings of the Hillview Enterprise.
Mr. Muldoon, you've heard the motion. Does the Finance Committee have a recommendation? Mr. Mastascusa?
Yes, Mr. Moderator, the Finance Committee votes to recommend this article.
Mr. Muldoon?
Board of Selectmen votes to recommend.
There's a motion for $48,000 to be borrowed, therefore requires a 2/3 vote. Is there any discussion? Mr. Pasquale, you wish to be heard on the motion? I guess you do.
There's two commissioners here, they have all the answers, I know. Just one of the bottom. How many carts are we talking? And what is the age of them?
Mr. Diamond, do you wish to answer Mr. Pasquale's question? Mr. Diamond, please state your name and address, sir.
Larry Diamond, 56 Northridge Drive. And that's at over 55, and I have to be home by 9 because they shut off the lights. So let's see if we can move along. What we currently have under lease is our 60 carts that we've had under lease for 4 years. At the expiration of the lease, which is April 1st, the Hillview Commission has the opportunity to purchase the carts for the sum of $800 apiece. The value of the carts is estimated somewhere in the neighborhood of $1,400 apiece. So we would be very foolish not to purchase them. Subsequently, we will then decide what we're going to do, whether we wish to maintain the carts and age the fleet and service. We've done a lot of looking into what we want to do on it as to whether our costs, our ability to service it, aging, rotating, and things like that. We haven't come to a conclusion yet. We may, in fact, end up turning the carts in. We may not exercise the purchase. There are many options coming. This will enable us to take advantage of the equity that we built up through excessive lease payments over the past 4 years.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Are we done with, do you have another question, Mr. Pasquale?
Yeah, the question really has to do with why isn't it coming out of the Hillview surplus? And why are we coming down here? You said we got 141,000, at least that's what I heard Mr. O'Leary say.
Mr. Diamond?
It's a this is a capital expenditure, and we have the option to bond it. We may not, we may take it out of operating. This gives us the alternative to do that come next June 30th. If we have a year of locusts and ice and things like that, we need to have the ability to have the funds available without impairing our ability to maintain the course.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Vino and then Mr. Wheeler.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Joe Vino, 11 Rock Street. Mr. Diamond, you may have answered the question. I got distracted for just a moment. So maybe I'll ask it in a different way. At the end of this lease, would we then be signing into a new lease to get carts? Is that what would happen?
No, we have not determined whether we're going to purchase them and own them, purchase them and trade them, or when we say trade, we mean trade against the lease. Well, our goal is to recognize the equity that we built up in them. And we expect that that equity is somewhere in the area of $35,000. And this enables us to take advantage of that and to recognize that, to get that money that's due us.
Well, okay, let me ask the question in a different way then. I would assume that the rentals are paying what we're paying to lease these cars from Company A, whoever they are. In other words, the fees that we collect from the golfers covers what we pay to lease these vehicles.
The golf
Yes or no?
cart, the golf cart revenue is well in excess of the cost of leasing the cars.
Then my question would be, why do we want to own these cars and be responsible for, I mean, if somebody damages them, I assume the lease company absorbs that? I just can't see why we want to get into the business of owning the cars.
Our current lease payments are $68,000 a year to lease the cars. Now, if we can purchase them for $48,000 the first year and nothing the second year, now there are costs associated with it, which are insurance, repairs, maintenance, and purchasing new ones, rotating them through so we don't end up with an aged fleet. And we're doing a cost analysis. But in the cost analysis, it showed that there was significant savings to own them as opposed to leasing them. And again, we're able to recognize the equity that we've built up in the cars as opposed to just throwing it away.
But then we are responsible for the maintenance.
But we're doing that analysis, and our analysis has taken into account all of those factors, Joe.
Okay. One last question, then I'll sit down. And if you know, what do we bring in now, yearly fees from the golfers to lease the cars?
Cart revenue approximates $150,000 a year.
It costs us, again, please,
About $70,000 when we're finished with it.
so we,
Make $80,000.
without taking on any liability of owning the cars.
That's correct. But that's what,
I promise,
Thank you.
I promised you an announcement of the score, so I'm informed that about 2 minutes ago, about 5 minutes ago, the score was tied, nothing to nothing at the end of 2 innings. Mr. Wheeler, you have the floor.
Eddie Wheeler, 1 Central Street. What I have to say is pertaining to the actual cost of the cars. I want to commend the management.
Use the microphone,
Please don't use the microphone, Mr. Wheeler. Somehow your voice is not quite as strong as it was 2 hours ago.
Sat in again, where I left off.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You have the
I
floor.
want to commend the management up there in observing the cost of maintaining the grounds up there and maintaining the other grounds in town. Without going into their ledger, it appears to me that they're doing that for about 1/3 the cost. And therefore, they have earned with the management skills to manage these golf carts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. Any further discussion on the motion under Article 13? Gentlemen, at the microphone, please state your name and address.
34 Elm Street. Just one question. Is this going to require another employee that we're going to have on the books for the rest of the time? This goes
Mr.
on,
Diamond.
if you go into this
we-
area, or is it going to be something that's contracted out so we have a set price and we know where we're at?
the Hillview Commission does not have any employees. There is one administrative at the Hillview Commission, our administrator. Absent of that, we do no hiring, no employees. All of the personnel you see at the golf course are GFMI employees, personnel management, etc. We would hire no employees.
So who would be doing the work actually now, please?
Well, we're exploring alternatives. We actually have 3 different alternatives. GFMI performing the service at an hourly rate outside. There are 2 New England Golf Cart Services, independent contractor, and then there's also large cart